Welcome, everybody. I'm Joe from the Game House. Today we'll be doing a New Orleans Saints 2025 NFL mock draft. The Saints are on the clock in our 2025 NFL mock draft series. As a reminder, we'll be doing mock drafts for every team, maybe once before free agency, once after free agency. So stay tuned for the team you follow. We'll be using the NFL mock draft database simulator for this one. I like it because it meshes big boards from across the internet together to make their own big board. And then we'll also be rejecting all trades to keep it as realistic as possible. Now, the Saints' precarious position here, picking at number 9 in the first round. But a lot to figure out with this team. Derek Carr, is he the guy? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. Now, I have been picking Abdul Carter when he falls, but I think we're getting to a point now where it's just not realistic. It wasn't realistic at 7 or 8 when I took him. So we're going to look in a different direction here to kind of help the Saints out, just to kind of keep it as realistic as possible. Obviously, you see some guys like Shamar Stewart go really early. There's a little bit more randomness with this simulator that maybe makes it a little bit unrealistic at the top, and I think throughout the draft it kind of works out. So go Ted McMillan, a bigger wide receiver to kind of pair with Chris Olave. Could go Will Johnson to get a corner help. Could go Kelvin Banks for offensive line help. I don't think they're going to go Ashton Jeanty. Let's go Ted McMillan, a big wide receiver to kind of complement Chris Olave down there to help whoever the quarterback is next season, whether it is Derek Carr or they go get someone else. It could be really good for them to get a good wide receiver. Next one up is going to be pretty easy for me. I'm going Jahdae Barron. Very versatile defensive back. Very good season this year. You might think that like they need to go get an edge rusher or get an offensive lineman. They might be able to do that in free agency at this rate. So as of right now, we don't know as much about the rosters. I will take players that I personally think are pretty good players and pretty good bets to kind of work out in the NFL. And luckily for the Saints, it looks like we're getting some guys to fall to the middle rounds of the draft. Pick 71 here, JT Tuimoloau. Um, Big flashes on tape, a big, strong edge rusher. I think could be a guy who can start from day one, even at pick 71. I think a guy who falls maybe a little bit too far in this mock draft simulator, but I do like the value there. Next one up, we'll fix the offensive line here. Emory Jones Jr., the offensive tackle from LSU, right tackle. Maybe could move into guard if you need him as well, but I think he could hold up at right tackle in the NFL as well. Next one up, already got a corner. Wants me to take one of the safeties. It wants maybe defensive lineman. That could be a good move. I think I'm going to go with the defensive lineman. I think we're going to go with Joshua Farmer out of Florida State. Florida State had a really bad year, but Farmer did impress. I think he can be more consistent, and that could have helped his draft stock. I think it make him a better pro. Next one up, we will go. This is pick 130. Gotten tackle could go interior offensive line here. Could go Devin Neal out of Kansas. Could go Maxon Hook or Garrett Dellinger. Let's go interior line too. Let's make sure this line is totally shored up. Eric McCoy was good last year at center when he was healthy, but they could improve the depth on the interior offensive line, and we're at pick 130. So getting guys that are going to start right away, maybe not the most realistic thing, definitely help that depth on the offensive line as they might need to go get a quarterback this offseason to help protect, or they could protect Derek Carr for them. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end out of Oregon, he's kind of been up and down mock drafts and draft boards throughout his career, but I think could be a valuable backup tight end for an NFL team. And that leaves us all the way to pick 254, so we're waiting on that one. At this point, I'd like to get like a linebacker or a safety who can maybe play special teams, maybe a running back too. So we see who comes up here. Yeah, let's go Jamon Dumas Johnson, the guy who started his career at Georgia, then transferred to Kentucky to end his career, could play special teams for him, and I think a pretty good guy in the locker room to have. All right, so let's go through the mock draft that we just did for the Saints. Again, Bill Carter was there. They'd probably take him if he's still there, but I'm trying to be as realistic as possible here. Ted McMillan could still be there, and I think he could pair pretty well with Chris Olave to make a good wide receiving tandem. Jahdae Barron, the corner out of Texas, improved that secondary as much as possible. 71, JT Tuimoloau, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. And more of a power rusher, a bigger edge rusher, but I think could fit in with what the Saints need. Emory Jones, the offensive tackle out of LSU, could play guard at the next level, but I also think he could stick a tackle too. Defensive lineman Josh Farmer out of Florida State, a bright spot on the Florida State team this year. Charles Grant, the interior offensive lineman from William Mary, Terrence Ferguson, the tight end out of Oregon, and Jamon Dumas Johnson, the linebacker out of Kentucky, who started his career at Georgia. So let me know what you think of this mock draft down in the comments below. We'll be doing more mock drafts for every team before we get to the 2025 NFL draft. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.